A Hong Kong Granny is an urban legend ghost story unique to South Korea. Widely circulated in the late 1980s to early 1990s. The story goes, an elderly woman on a Korean air flight to Hong Kong becomes a ghost by merging with her cat that she was carrying to the afterlife after a plane crash. This half-human, half-cat ghost returns to her homeland of Korea and begins to target young elementary school students, especially those who walk alone on the road to school or home from school, as they have less ability to resist. It is said that she attacked the Banes with her sharp claws, telling them to look at their palms. Kids couldn't run away because she ran 100 meters in 10 seconds. It was known that she would ask various questions before killing children while hiding her identity, and if you answer while adding, Hong Kong, at the end, you could survive. It's an unbelievable story, but it's highly likely that this ghost story was created by combining fear of overseas travel and aviation accidents at that time. South Korea finally began fully liberalizing overseas travel in 1989. But in the late 1980s and early 1990s, strangely, there were frequent airplane crashes. Although the number of passengers traveling by air worldwide was increasing rapidly, this was a time when safety measures were not keeping up with the growth. Another theory is that the ghost story was created and spread nationwide as a measure by parents in the Gangnam area of Seoul to make their children come home early as a response to various violent crimes, including child abduction, and to prevent their children from entering harmful establishments such as after-school game rooms and comic book stores. The time when this ghost story emerged was actually a period when the government declared a war on crime, as organized crime, drug offenders, and human traffickers were rampant, and child abductions were frequent. It is also worth noting that there were many delinquents who snatched money while walking along the streets. At that time, many of the ghost stories that were popular in Korea were often spread by illegally translating and publishing Japanese publications, such as the infamous Red Mask ghost story, so Japan was often considered the source. However, interestingly, there is no similar ghost story to the Hong Kong Granny ghost in Japan. If anything, there is a cat demon called Nekomata, but the only thing these two have in common is that they both involve cats. As the rumor began to spread, it surprisingly caused significant social repercussions, such as school refusal and other problems. It was even introduced on the MBC News desk in 1989 and became a legend among urban legends. In other words, it had a counterproductive effect. However, this phenomenon has essentially become a dead meme with the comedy film, Hong Kong Granny, by director Sim Hyung-rae. Why Hong Kong in airplane crash? Hong Kong is a city closely tied to Korea. After the Korean liberation in 1945, most goods in Korea were imported and exported through Hong Kong. After the end of the Pacific War, Japan was devastated by 2 atomic bombs and became a ruin. Korea was no exception and had to be rebuilt after the Korean War. However, Hong Kong, as a British colony, experienced tremendous growth and development in East Asia. There was no other region in East Asia that achieved as much economic growth as Hong Kong did. So Hong Kong became the object of admiration, and that admiration continued until the liberalization of overseas travel in 1989. Parents who spent their youth in the 1950s would naturally have preferred to travel to Hong Kong, which had been their object of admiration, once they were able to travel abroad due to the liberalization of overseas travel. At that time, there were frequent major airplane accidents in Korea. In 1983, a Korean airplane was shot down by a Soviet fighter jet near Sakhalin, and in 1987, a Korean airplane was bombed in midair by North Korean agents. Additionally, in 1989, a crash in Libya killed 72 passengers. It is evident that the prevailing societal conditions at the time served as the basis for this urban legend. I hope you enjoyed this story. Thank you for watching. Other stories will be uploaded soon, so please don't forget to subscribe.